right, so now we have gold coming down. Let's just take a quick look at gold on the 30-minute chart. You do have a doji, so I'll be very mindful of that sale. I wouldn't 100% believe it because it is turning, but we're going to see if it's going to continue to come down. I'm going to put a push line here, okay? So the purpose, let's see over here. We're going to look to get in the sale right about here on gold on futures per the scanner. We're going to get in right there. Okay. 43.94 is going to be entry on futures. 43.99.4. Now, how do we set up our zones? We're going to have to go and turn our zones on. We're going to use the four finger slam. We're going to use BF power today, and we are going to use zones 2.0. All right. And so as you can see, our zones are already marked. We do have an alert for the sale. We're going to look to get in at 400 to 97. 400 to 97. Now, how you trade the zones? The zone is for compounding. All right. And so you have to go to the compounding. excuse excuse me. You have to go to the compounding chart first. You always want to make sure that you're looking at the compounding chart. And what you can do is if you don't want to go too high on your lot size because your accounts are smaller, then you can just stay at the lower lot sizes. Okay. So you could do like 2 at 5, 2 at 6, 2 at 7. The goal is to make the total amount. So, however you do that in 2 points, you can do that. Okay, whatever you feel safer with, or you can always increase your account balance for pullback. Okay, and you have to be very mindful of the pullback. So, again, the next zone, the zones are in 2 points. Okay, so let's look at this. Your zones are in 2 points. And so this one is 400 to 398. All right. It has activated. We cleared on the futures trade. We really getting ready to clear on the gold trade. We really want to pay attention to Chef's 1 minute slam because when you get that candle, the 1 and a 5, the next zone is ready. Okay, so we got 96 to 94. You should have cleared. That 5 typically tells us that the market is going to drop. So we're looking for the alert, which said it's going to sell, and then candle 5. Okay. So we know that the momentum 9 times out of 10 right now is going to be for the sale. So the in between space is for the market to pull back. You don't want to keep taking the zones because you don't want to get wicked in. Okay. So that's why you took this zone here, which is 400 to 398. You're going to let the market pull back because it's always going to pull back. And so your next zone is going to be 95 to 94. I like to keep like a check sheet. And so I would have said, okay, I just did trade 1 at 0.05. So I'm going to check that off my list. And so then my next trade is trade 2 at 0.06. Okay. So that's the next trade I'm going to be looking for. And so I'm going to get ready to do that trade for 95 to 94. Now, if this market pulls back completely into the blue zone, then you could take the red and you could go 400 to 398 again. So the purpose of the zone scanner is to teach new traders how to compound their account, or even experienced traders how to compound their account using gold in a 2 point zone. All right. Be anxious for nothing. Now, you see what I said, how it came back up in here, which is perfect. If it comes back to this area, then you can go ahead and adjust and you can get in for 400 to 398. If it comes back to this area, no problem. You can adjust and get in here. What is this one? 4 to 2. Okay. The thing is, you want to make sure that you don't get in where it's at, because where it's at, the market is volatile. So you want it to push and then get in a zone. Always leave that black space in between so that you're not being wicked into a trade. Okay? So we're going to always wait for the alert. The alert is telling us the market is getting ready to, the market is moving down. Okay. So we got sell momentum. The market is saying there's a possible short. Okay. So market is moving down. All right. It's getting ready to come back to your zone. 400 to 98 is that next zone. Let's look at futures really quickly. So yeah, on futures, the scanner is calling for a short. It's right about there. Okay, so futures, the scanner is calling for a short on MGC at 4393.6. 4393.6 is where the scanner is calling it. All right, so here again, we've got this push. It's a little bit of consolidation. But if it's going to come down, then we want to take 400 to 98. Now, some people, they want to go back and forth on the zones. Depending on your level of expertise, that's fine. But remember that the black area is here for the market to pull back. Okay? Is here for the market to pull back. We're not really ready to get into a buy until we see flat bottoms, even though we know the market is going to shoot back and forth through this zone, right? That's the whole purpose of a zone, because the current zone right now is 4 to 2. As you can see, it's going through 4 to 2. Our trade was for 400 to 398. It has shot through there. Do you see that? It's a beautiful thing. So the market is hanging out in the zone, and the full zone is 404 down to 398. But because we're doing quick scalps, we're doing them on 2 points. We want to make sure um, that you're giving yourself space so that you're not getting pulled or wicked in the wrong direction. Okay. So let's talk about the BF Power scanner. I love BF Power because it's going to give you an alert. And when it gives you an alert, 9 times out of 10, the market is really going to move down nicely for you. Okay. And then these EMAs, I love those EMAs. They are the absolute truth. And so as you can see here, you're getting your alerts. I don't know why we're getting a double alert though. I must have something else on. Okay. So we've got our alert. Let me take the power off right quick and see if this is zones. Yeah, the zones is giving us alert too. So your zones is giving you alert. It's playing in your area right here for 400, 398, right? So we really want to see, is it going to continue to come down in this area? That's really, really important because we want to see a flat top. And right now we have a doji. If I were going to hold a trade, I would need the alert and I will hold it to the TPs on the screen. Let's take a quick look at MNQ. Mm-hmm. MNQ is doing the exact same thing. Our EMAs are looking like they want to cross up, but it's still down here. So we don't know if it's going to continue to push down. So let's wait to see on MNQ if it's going to continue to push down for the sale. If it continues to come down for the sale, then we can get a pending order for MNQ for futures. Okay. So here again, your market is really consolidating in 400, 404 to 402 is the perfect zone. Why is this the perfect zone? Because the market keeps going to the top and the bottom. It's consolidating, but you could literally complete this chart right now on all of these. All right. You could complete it literally on this zone because that's where it's hanging out. Keeps going back and forth through 404 to 402. And the purpose is practice taking your lot size up. All right, coming back down for our 398 again. And so we have to have a flat top that maintains its momentum. If it doesn't maintain its momentum cleared, all right, get ready for the next one, 95 to 94. If it doesn't maintain its momentum, then it's going to keep hanging out right here at 4 to 2. So your numbers are on the side. And so you just really want a 2 point zone because gold pays nice. You can really compound your account. All right. And so again, these are listed 96 to 94 is activated. And we actually should be activated on MGC, right? I didn't hear it. No, it's coming. All right. So now we're activated on MGC, cleared. Okay. When this pulls back, the scanner will give us another one. All right, the next one is ready. All right, 92 to 90 is our next zone. So it's really important that you wait on those flat tops because once you get the flat tops, you've got your momentum. And so what you want to avoid is the turnaround. 92 to 90 is pushing down. We need one more push. All right, there we go. Cleared. All right, your next one is going to be the 88. She is running down, okay? Running down, running down, running down. So what we want to avoid is getting pulled in on the pullback. You see how it's pulled back? So another thing that I do is sometimes when it pushes down like this, I wait. I let it pull back and then I'll start from here, 84 to 82. Okay. And so you do want to have these ready to go as you're putting them in because they're pending order. They're not market execution. And as you can see, your market is pushing down. It must be the big that happens at about 8:30. Yeah. Okay. So always let it pull back. That's the safest way. And then put in the trade. So you literally want to have your pending order set. And then once it pulls back, you can set it. Okay. So this next one is 72 to 74. 72 to 74. Again, with each trade, this is how we're compounding. This scanner is for compounding zones. Okay. So we would be continuing to take our lot size up. Okay. Taking our lot size up. Small lot size, the bigger numbers make you uncomfortable. Again, instead of doing one at 0.05, you could do two trades. You could do two trades at 0.06. You just want to make sure that your trade amounts are equaling the amount that you are seeking to get to. So on these alone, you could go from $100 to close to $700 in one session, right? So you want to make sure that you are paying attention. Now, when you get that doji, you know the market is going to pull back. And so then you say, yay, let it pull back. And then you could get ready for your zones. So let's go through them. You could put in 76 to 74. You could put in 80 to 78. You could get ready to put in 80 to 82. But 80 to 82, I will hold it. I will hold it because you don't want it to wick. You see how it wicked here? You don't want it to wick. I will wait for it so that it can come down fully. Okay. This is a Black Forex scanner. So if you have a Black Forex membership, you have access to the code scanner. All right. And so now we see that the market is moving between 88 and what is that going to be? 86. So it's hanging out in here. A lot of people will try to go and buy and sell. And I'm telling you, the safest way to use a zone scanner is to trade where you are not. Okay, where you are not. All right, so this is where the market is right here, 84 to 82. I would definitely get ready to set that up. 80 to 78, I would get ready to set that up. And 76 to 74, I would get ready to set that up. I want my pending orders because this is a pending order scanner. I want it to be where the market is not. All right. So if you set up 84, trade is activated, trade cleared. All right. If you set up 80, trade activated, trade cleared. All right, next one is 76. All right, and it's a quick 2 point scalp. Again, if you could be disciplined, then you could go ahead and you could place these trades during each session. And I would say, look, going all the way down to 74, You could do it and you want to take your lot size up. Now, if you're like, "Ooh, Dr. LA, that pullback scares me," instead of starting with $100, start with $200. Okay, because I mean, literally point 0.5 is 0.5 on $200, not a lot. And every once in a while, I'm telling you, you're going to have one trade that's going to pull back in the other direction. Okay, so you're going to have to be ready for that. And that's why we trade flat tops, Hikanachi candles. 74 to 72 is coming back. 74 to 72 is coming back. This trade has cleared. All right. Put a horizontal line here for our push line. And you have to have patience. You just have to be patient because you're going to see the market moving through the zones. So you're going to want all of the money. But just remember, if it is in this zone, then you should be placing a pending order for the zone underneath. Do not place a zone, don't place a trade in a zone where it is. And then I have made it where this zone is blue, red, blue. The black is where I want you to allow the market to pull back. You see what it's doing right now? It's got to pull back. So the purpose of the black is so that you pull back, not for you to create another zone. Sometimes the market zones in the black nicely. Cleared there. Getting ready for the next one. You should have cleared. All right. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And so when it shoots down like that, a person is like, oh, I should have stacked them. No, let it pull back. It's all good. All right. Your next zone is right here, 68 to 66, because you can see on every candle, it's going to pull back. It's going to pull back. So you go ahead and set your pending order for 68 to 66. And then your next pending order is 64 to 62. If the market decides that it's going to turn around, you don't have anything to worry about because you're not in the trade. That's why we don't do market execution. And so this strategy again is for quick scalps where you're compounding a small account. I can use this strategy and I can take $150 account to $1,000 in 24 hours. I promise you. I've done it several times and posted the screenshots. Okay. So it's not hard. It's for you to practice your accuracy and your patience. Your next one is 64 to 62 coming down. Somebody says, why can't we market execute? Because of the pullback. The purpose of the strategy is for it to shoot through the zone and pay you. If you do market execution, you don't know where you're going to get in the trade. Okay. And you might be getting in that trade right here on the pullback. And I want you to get in the trade at the top of that zone so that when the market shoots through, you're paid and you're done. All right. You're paid and you're done. Now, what it does on the left is going to do on the right. What does that mean? Well, now your zones have built out. So when it gets ready to go back up, you're going to buy back up, right? Your zones are here. They're already here. It's built out the zones for the sale. And we know that it is going to buy back up at some point. So we have to be ready for that. Okay. So this one here, if it comes down some more, let me look at our scanner. We're going to go right there. All right. And so here on this scanner, I have more than one screen. The buy and sell labels is for futures. You can use it on Forex. A lot of people do. But the buy and sell labels are the pending orders for futures. So you can put the buy and sell labels on and they will give you pending orders for futures. Okay. That's what it was created for. But you can use it on Forex, works just the same, but it is quite accurate on futures. So there's our pullback again. Let it pull back. We always want to let it pull back. And then our zones, 68 to 66. It is really important that you use the appropriate broker so that your numbers are aligned. 68 to 66 and then 64 to 62 are going to be our last zones. All right. So let's see what the market is going to do. Let's take a quick look at MNQ to see if it is ready. All right. So MNQ looks like it possibly wants to buy back up. And that's fine. If it's going to buy back up, if it's going to sell down, the scanner is going to have us get in, look for a short right about there on MNQ. MNQ scanner is calling for a short at 24 262.5, 24 262.5 on MNQ. All right. I got about 2 more minutes. If you have a question, you can type it in the chat. I want to make sure that you guys are set up for zones and that you make sure I am begging you use the compound charts. All right. And then you could do this. I would do these, take a break, come back and do this one, come back and do this one. Several people can get through level one. A few people can get through level two. A few people can get through level three. I really would love to see your screenshots of you literally going through the progress. Okay. Once it gets to like 0.53, 0.45, people get really nervous, and I don't blame you. So you could stay at 0.37 or you could stay at 0.31. The goal is just to make the amount that you see here, the trade amount. So whatever you did here, if you needed $62, right? Then here you could do that and you could just add a point. Same thing here. All right. So pay more attention on the amount and stay where you're comfortable, but you can't stay at a 0.5 if you're compounding to $694. So you can't be too scared, okay? So again, if it's going to continue to sell down, you're going to look to get in that sale 68 to 66, 64 to 62. The market is zoning right now, is hanging out in this area. And don't be anxious. Let it zone in this area. Let it do exactly what it's supposed to do. And then when it gets ready to come down, you want to be ready because you want a flat top. You don't want a doji. Those of you watching us on live stream, we're using Hakanashi candles because they're momentum candles. So the flat top tells you the market is going to push down or up. All right. And so we got our flat top here. It's right on this zone, which is lovely. We want to see a little bit more momentum for it to come all the way down for 68 to 66. If it doesn't, then that would tell me, okay, maybe it's ready to buy up. And if it is ready to buy up, then that's fine. I'll let it push down some more, take my profit if I'm in the trade, and then I would get ready to start buying about this blue zone here, which is 78 to 80 is where I would be looking to start getting in the trade. And then 82 to 84, let her breathe. Okay. And then the next one is 86 to 88. All right. And what I like to do is you can take the zones off of your chart. You can refresh and it will start building the zones again up in the upward momentum so that you know that the market is indeed going up. All right. Any questions about that? Going back up through our zones, but we're going to start at 78 to 80. So we'll see. This zone here has cleared. This zone, see where I said to start, has cleared. So always let it pull back. And as you can see here, this one wicked in here. When it came back down, it took my profit. Now, somebody is going to want to wait, and you can if you want to, because it hasn't really established a buy until we get a buy alert. All right. See what is the buy zone up here on this one. Yeah, this right here, I wouldn't even buy this until this come up here. I would not believe that it's going to fully buy. 78 to 80 has cleared. The next one is 82 to 84. All right. And we want to see if it's going to continue to hold its momentum. We want to see that. And we don't know that it's holding its momentum, everyone, until it starts giving us the number count. Okay. Once we get that number count, then we know, you see here, that we rolling. So you should get a number count and an alert, and that you will know for sure that you're headed in the direction of a buy. Right now, the market is in love with this area right here, which is 78 to 80. 78 to 80. And so even if it stays in an area like this, you let it pull back. And then once it pulls back, you put the pending order in all over again. So you can literally get 3 trades out of right here in this zone, depending on where the market wants to hang out. Okay, because you know that it's trying to push up so that it can go through 82 to 84 has cleared. All right. I hope that that is helpful. I wanted to do a recording for zones and I will drop it in the chat. So again, I'm using a 1 minute slam and I am using the zone scanner so you can see how you can compound. My only request is that you use the chart when you're using the zone scanner because it's going to help you to take a small account up really quickly. Every once in a while, the market is going to turn, so you want to be mindful of getting wicked in. If you get wicked in when it comes back down, you're going to have to take your profit and get out of the trade. All right. If you have to start over or start at a different place because you had to close a trade, then just make sure that your account balance matches your lot size. Excuse me, for proper risk management. Make sure your account balance matches your lot size. It has to, okay? Or it's not going to be balanced with your trade. But these zones are pretty good and you can get in and get out. 2 point zone on gold, you could do some amazing things. You could literally 10x your account. Okay? All right. Any questions in the chat?